Hello lovely simmers, SimsEclaire here and welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are doing our first build with the new pack. This is a small cottage. I think I'm gonna call it something like couples farming cottage or couples farmhouse or couples cottage. I'm not 100% sure, but basically I imagine that this was a house for a young couple. They probably just moved in together, but they were really into farming and living off the land and, you know, kind of growing their own food and raising animals and stuff. I did think that they probably were raised in the New World, Henford on Bagley, I think it's pronounced. And I think that they were raised here. They were probably high school sweethearts and they went off to go start their own farm. And this is kind of like the beginning stages of that farm. So I did put in a little bit of like older furniture, especially from this pack, and then also cats and dogs, because my mind was that they probably like took some of their parents' furniture or their grandparents' furniture or something like that. But we will talk more about that when we get into the build. For right now, we're doing the structure. You can kind of see I built, like, I sectioned off the lot with fencing, the fence from the new pack, so that way I could kind of determine where, you know, the animals were gonna go, where the house was gonna go, where the garden was gonna go. It's a little cramped. I could have possibly not put a pond in, but I hadn't gotten to play with the pond tool yet since I took so long to get my computer. So I wanted to be able to actually play with the pond tool and figure out how it worked, because I think that it's such an awesome inclusion. I used to have to build pools and then like really weirdly decorate all these pools and stuff in order to make things work, but now we can just build our own ponds and they look so much more realistic. And so I wanted to make sure I had a pond on this property so I could try and build with it. But now I kind of skipped over a little bit of the video. I placed these new like roof decorations that we got. They kind of just help angle the roof a little bit better in terms of like more rounded edges and things, and they also add a little bit of decoration since the majority or all of the roofing like patterns we got were like hay based or straw based. So this kind of adds a little bit more texture, a little bit more variety, so everything isn't, you know, so much of the same. Right now I'm placing some windows and doors. I am using only windows and doors from the new pack. I actually don't start mixing in other packs, I believe, until we get to the inside, except for I think I might use the Country Kitchen kit flooring out here. Yeah, I did. I did mix a lot of Country Kitchen in here, along with cats and dogs as well. I think that these three packs go really well together. I also feel like some aspects of Get Together would probably go really well with this new pack. So if you have those, I think you'll probably be pretty set. And then the debug menu for this pack is humongous. There is so much stuff, and it's so much stuff that just like makes sense. Like sometimes you get the debug menu items and they're pretty and they work, but they don't really like, I don't know, they don't like do anything for the atmosphere. But there's so much debug items that kind of just make these houses come to life. They're like farming equipment that's been overgrown because it hasn't been used in a while, or it's new farming equipment, or it's stuff like that truck that I pulled out where it looks like, you know, vegetables and stuff would be hauled in there to go down to the local town like market or something like that. So I think that they did a really good job with the debug menu, just giving us so much extra stuff to help decorate our houses with. And then we also got quite a few plants in the debug menu as well. I'm not a fan of the plants that we got with like in the normal build and buy menu. They're more just like topiaries that are like trimmed to look like the different animals that we got in this pack, which I think they're cute, but I never really used the topiaries that we had to begin with. So I wish that we had gotten more of like the debug menu plants just in the build and buy catalog. And then over here I am finishing the landscaping around the pond. Initially I had just built it and then just left it sitting there, but right now I'm going through and just kind of filling up the space, making it look a little overgrown. I did add that wheel from the debug menu just to kind of make it look like maybe they were getting their own water, because that is where the kitchen ends up, and like that's the wall that the sink is on. So I thought maybe they were using water to maybe generate some energy, or they were collecting some of their own water or something like that. And then over here I'm trying to figure out the layout of this animal situation. So first off, I was using the terrain tool. So some of my like hutches and things, they were like raising off the ground, and I was trying to figure out the best way for that to not happen. But also I really wanted to do like one of each thing that we got, because I wanted to be able to kind of explore them and figure them out. But the animal shed is huge, and I end up making it work by kind of pushing it to like the very end of the lot. You're gonna see me do it right here. I delete part of the fence and then I kind of just make it so it's almost like built into the fence, so the animals can't get out, but it's still like right up against the edge of the lot, because you can't technically put fences on the edge of the lot, so I had to delete the fence in order to do that. But now I'm over here and I'm moving the chicken coop, so I did end up like switching around the layout of that area a little bit, just so I could fence in the chicken coop, because I didn't want the chickens to like run around. And then I also added this bunny stump. I'm not a huge fan of bunnies. I have a really rough history with them from way back when I was a kid, but I thought that it'd be really cute for this farm to just have a couple of bunnies running around. And they're completely fenced in, so I don't think foxes can get in, but let me know in the comments down below, for those of you who have had an actual chance to play with this pack, if foxes can still get in if the house is fenced off. And then now we're on to the inside. So the inside is using the new wooden floors that we got and the new paneled wallpapers. And then on this end table here, which is also new, I'm putting a couple of clutter items, a couple of decorations. We got this really cute water pitcher, and I actually have one of those, and mine has plants in it. They're fake plants because I can't keep real ones alive, but I have a water pitcher that has fake plants in it, so I thought it'd be really cute to kind of recreate that here in The Sims. And then over here, I had a little bit of an issue with the layout because I had initially wanted there to be like a dining area, but the way that this house is shaped, it really kind of didn't lend to that. I ended up getting a dining table in the living room, or in the kitchen. There's like a little spot for your Sims to sit and enjoy some food, but there isn't like an actual set dining area. This right here is the living room. I'm using one of the new fireplaces. Both of the fireplaces we got in this pack are huge, like huge. And they fill up so much wall space, and I mean, they look really nice, like they're super detailed, and you can do cool things like what I did here, where I raised up some pictures just so that way I could have some decorations on the mantle. And you have to delete the wall first, or your pictures will keep trying to snap to the wall, but it does make it look a little bit more homey. I just think that these are so big, like it doesn't, I don't know, like it fills up almost that entire wall. That's why I was having such an issue with the layout. It's because I knew I wanted there to be a fireplace, but I had to be able to fit it. And then over here, I do kind of like a little bit of an art corner. So we got crocheting with this pack. So I think it's crocheting. It's either crocheting or like needle stitching. It might be needle stitching. We got some sort of new activity with this pack, but we also have knitting, obviously, from the Nifty Knitting Kit, or Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack. Yeah, Nifty Knitting Stuff Pack. So over there I did, I put the crochet basket in, and I put an art easel, and I did some knitting baskets as well, because I thought that they probably made their own clothes, and they probably made a lot of their decorations, and it was probably just like a family hobby that had been passed down. And then over here, I did put in that basket that I love. I do believe I end up deleting it. I either delete that or this table. Okay, yeah, I ended up deleting the table because I love that basket. I think it's such a neat little piece because it adds just so much more like homeliness to builds. Like that's why I love baskets, is because of how homely they make things look. And then over here is the kitchen. It's a really big kitchen. I figured that they probably prioritized the kitchen because they probably did a lot of cooking. You know, we got canning with this, or jam making with this pack, so they probably did a lot of jam making with their vegetables that they grew, and they probably did a lot of preserving, so that way they always had food around, and they probably had just like a whole bunch of stuff that they had to keep storage of because they are making and growing their own food. So I wanted to keep that in mind when I was building this kitchen. And then I'm using the new counters, or the new kitchen set that came with this pack. This is not the country kitchen kit. It looks a lot like it. I will say that. I think that the colors are a little different, and the textures of like the front of the cabinets and stuff are different as well, but they do look very similar, which is a little frustrating. But at the same time, I'm wondering, like, my big thing on that is that they probably just couldn't fit two kitchen sets in this pack. They probably needed a little bit more room to give us some more things, like so maybe they weren't initially going to give us some of the animals that we ended up getting, but then they cut out the kitchen, one of the kitchen sets, and then we were able to get more items. So I'm thinking, or at least I'm hoping, that that was their thought process behind splitting up the two kitchens. But anyway, now we are into the bathroom, and this is the only bathroom in the build, and it does only have a bathtub. There is no shower. You can probably fit a shower in here if you wanted to, or you can delete the bathtub obviously and switch it over to a shower. I wanted to be able to use the new pack stuff, so that's why I kept it as a bathtub. I also thought that that made a little bit more sense with, you know, their kind of off the grid living. They probably got water from their pond and then like cleaned it or whatever, like boiled it and then put it in for their bath water. just because I did think that they would live like off the grid. And then in here is the bedroom. It has kind of like a blue and yellow theme. I'm using one of the new wallpapers as well. And then I'm also using the new vanity that we got. It's technically a dresser. It doesn't function like the other vanities in the game, but it has a really, really pretty like built-in mirror, and it looks like a very nice antique piece, and it goes really well with a lot of the furniture that we got with the rest of this pack. So I'm really happy with it, and I really like kind of like the versatility of it, or at least what it brings to the game. But besides that, that is it for this build, so I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!